and you're paying for that lifestyle and realistic expectations. There are other expenses to consider. Hello, it's Layefa. How are you? I get asked a lot, how do I afford to live in central London? Or more specific to the point, people ask me, how did you afford to buy your home in central London? And I don't really know why they ask this question, and I have got a video where I vaguely kind of talk about the processes of buying a home, or at least the process that I went through to buy my home in London. And if you haven't watched it, I will link it in the eye and also in the description box. But more to the point, I think people want to understand, or I don't know why, it's a bit personal asking somebody else about their finances, but yes, people want to know how you did it, and more so the steps that you took so that they can follow in the same steps. I don't think I'll be sharing anything that is different from some of the information that is already out there, but if you want to hear it from me, here it goes. So the first thing you need to do when buying a home, any home, whether it's in London or any city around the world, is you need to sort out your finances. So you need to be having a regular income, whether that is from your business, or you are self-employed, or you have a regular 9-to-5 job. You need to sort out your finances and make sure you've got your finances in check, and you need to sort of have a spreadsheet of your ingoings and your outgoings, and this will help you determine what you are left with, and what you can afford to save. I think when it comes to saving, especially if you are saving with intention and saving with purpose, especially me personally, I tend to cut down on a lot of things. So I cut down on holidays. That's the first thing. I cut down on going to the salon, so I do it myself, which is why you see me doing these natural hair videos. I make a lot of cutbacks because anything that is a luxury and that isn't necessarily needed, I could just put that in the piggy bank, put that away, and that money could lead towards, this great purchase that I want to make. I'm not a financial expert, and I'm not going to go too into it. Maybe for obvious reasons, if people are unaware, like you can't sort of be on any form of benefit if you think you're going to buy a home. So let me just put that out there. The whole idea of buying your own home is that you can support yourself. You need to be able to support yourself fully before a mortgage lender will take you seriously. And I know this is not rocket science, but I feel like I have to point out the obvious, because some people just don't know. And once you've got your finances in check and you're saving, you feel like you're in a good position to start buying. That's when you start approaching banks or mortgage lenders. In my personal case, I sought out a mortgage advisor, and yes, that is another fee, that is another cost, and some people might be like, oh my goodness, mortgage advisor, that's not cheap. But the benefit of having a mortgage advisor is that they do all the running around for you, so you're not going from bank to bank to bank, like you're paying them for a service, and they can't come back to you empty-handed. You understand? They come back to you and they'll say, okay, these are the banks, or these are the mortgage lenders who will be happy to lend to you. And also that's less hassle on your part in terms of sourcing out a mortgage lender. A lot of us, we go into the first bank we see, or the bank that we're currently banking with, and think that they will give us the best deal. Not necessarily. The mortgage advisor is there to sort out the best deals for you. So once you have your finances in check, you've saved, you have you've sought out a mortgage lender, then if you are looking to buy in central London, the first thing I'm going to say to you is lower your expectation. Unless you really understand the market and what you are getting into, $500,000 in the countryside, you can get yourself a gorgeous, almost palace-like, lovely, home. 500,000 is not going to get you much in central London. I mean, it could get you something very nice, but depending on the specific location that you're looking for. So whatever your budget is, you need to lower your expectations. I'm not saying to you that you have to go for rubbish. No, you have a standard, but you need to have realistic, that's what I'm saying, realistic expectations. As well as paying for the amount of rooms and the space, you are essentially paying for that postcode. You are paying for that location. So if you want to be in the middle of the hustle and bustle and the liveliness and the lights and the nightlife and the restaurants and the eateries and the bars and all this and all that, this comes at a cost. So understand that you're not just paying for the home that you live in, you're paying for that lifestyle as well. And for me, myself, we don't live in a house, we live in an apartment. It is a flat. I think I've explained in my previous video, which I will link in the eye. It's a maisonette, so it's an upstairs downstairs situation. It's not the largest and the grandest, but I feel that I'm in a great location. I still have the benefit of being very close to family, and I'm also very close to the hustle and bustle of everything, because I am a Londoner by heart and I have always lived in London all my life. So this is the lifestyle that I like. When you have your expectations, you need to think about, are you buying a home or are you buying an investment? Because that will dictate in the type of property you will get. I think that was the issue with us, because yes, this is our home, but we are essentially looking at it as an investment because we do not intend to stay here forever. Now, I say we because I bought this home with my husband. It was a joint venture, and that's the next tip I'm going to give to you. If you want to buy within central London or any city, in fact, I would advise buying with a partner. Now, this doesn't have to be your fiance or your husband or your boyfriend or whatever it is. This could be your best friend. This could be a close friend. When you buddy up with somebody, and when the mortgage lenders look at you, they don't look at you as two separate salaries or entity. They look at you as one salary. And if this person is earning 40k and the other person's also earning 40 or 30k, put that together, that's a large chunk of money. Usually, on most instances, the banks will lend you 4 times the amount of what you are earning annually. If you are buddied up with somebody, or it doesn't have to necessarily be one person, it could be 2 to 3 people, but this will help you to get onto that ladder. And if you don't mind living with the person, then why not go for it? These are some of the smarter business decisions that people make when they are buying into London. And I'm more so talking for the regular person, the person who doesn't have a sugar daddy or, a billionaire father. So once you've buddied up with somebody, as I said, that's when I feel like you can really get the ball rolling, because you have a bigger income and therefore a larger budget to work with. And going back to the first point of budgeting, then you could set aside money for lawyers' fees and stamp duty and surveyors and things like that. Until you're really in the search of a property, you don't realize all the sort of fees that come up alongside just buying the home, especially when you are none the wiser and you just don't know. But yes, there are other expenses to consider. And when it comes to stamp duty as well, the more expensive the home, the larger the stamp duty, because it's a certain percentage. Now, a lot of people feel like, oh, I've got kids, it's going to be even harder. Well, we bought our first home and we were 2 kids in, so I feel like I'm an example of it is very possible to buy a home in central London with children. And I think one of the final things I'll say is look out for what schemes are available to you. I know that there is the key workers scheme, there's the right to buy, which I spoke about in the vlog, which I keep referring to because I advise that you watch it, because I speak about things that I feel like people on YouTube don't really talk about. And also there's another one, the first time buyers scheme. I don't know if that's actually called a scheme, but I know as of recently they first time buyers no longer need to pay stamp duty. Now, if you don't know what stamp duty is, it is I think this is a typically British thing. I don't think that's something around the world, but no matter where you buy in the UK, if you buy a home or a property, you have to pay stamp duty by law. It doesn't matter if you've paid for the house already. If you have not paid your stamp duty, that home does not belong to you. I don't really understand the point of it. It's like some sort of tax of the home, but I know that as of recently they have removed that for first time buyers. So obviously the law is changing every day, every year, every minute. So whilst you haven't bought your first home and you're watching this is something to really sink your teeth into, because stamp duty is something that we never really consider until you're like thrust in the face, like, oh my goodness, what I have to pay, what like, yeah. So things to think about. And also when you're looking for properties, keep in mind things like freehold and leaseholds. Whereas if you are a freeholder, that land that your house or your property is on belongs to you. So if you want to extend or do whatever, you're not asking for permission from somebody else. And also when you are living in a flat within a building, you have to think about things like service charges, because this is something that comes up on a yearly occurrence. Like, in order to keep your property clean or the grass around your property clean, they have cleaners, they have gardeners, they have, people that mow the lawn. These people, there is a service charge for these things. And this is something on top of, you're buying your house, your council tax that you have to pay and everything else. But I hope this video has been helpful. So this is just my experience. I'm not a professional mortgage advisor. This is just the some of the knowledge that I have. And if you have any questions at all, comment below. It's not impossible to buy your home after having children. Loads of people do it. I'm not the first person to do it. And even if you don't have children and you're watching this video, you're already, I suppose, ahead of the game, because it's easier to save, but when you don't have the responsibility of another human being, if that makes sense. But I hope this video has been helpful. Thank you so much for watching. Give me a thumbs up. It really does help me out a lot. I usually make hair videos, and if you're wondering, yes, this is my real hair. This is how the hair grows out of my head. And I also make family vlogs where I share bits and pieces of my life with my children. And I do sit down chatty videos like this, and I just keep it very real and honest with you. So do give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Also hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And until my next video, think smart, work hard to make it happen. Bye.